Hello beautiful people and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, it's great to have you. If you're returning, it's good to see you. In today's video, you'll receive my channeled message, plus a page from the Daily Angel Guidance book and also a card from the Universal Love Healing Deck. Please note this is a collective group message, so it may not align with you today, and that's simply okay. Come back and visit me tomorrow where it may resonate more with what you need to know. Now, if in about 5 minutes in you're really loving this content and enjoying the video, I'd be so grateful if you would like the video, subscribe to my channel, and also click on the notifications bell so you'll be notified when I upload tomorrow's cat's message of the day. Now, today is all about how do you heal your inner child? How many of you have been seeing a therapist or seeing someone for years or maybe more recently, and you're really struggling to tap into that inner child and heal whatever you endured as a child going through? Now, it could be abandonment, fear of rejection. You know, you were bullied as a child, you were brought up in an unhealthy environment. You could have been that you've lost a parent. It could be that your parents divorced, split up. There's all these things from your younger self, your inner child, that really have not been healed, addressed, looked at, and released. So how do you get into those pain, trauma, and really bring them to the surface and heal from them? What I want to share with you is a perspective that you may not have looked at, and it's something that I discovered a few years ago. I'm always looking for ways to really get down to the core of why people are the way that they are. It's not about working horizontal and just working with what's in the head. I really don't care what's in the head. I want to go down to where all the pain is, where we suppress all the stuff that is too painful at the time to process. So we suppress it, and in the hope that one day we go back and visit it when we're strong enough to really be able to heal from it. So what from your younger self, your inner child, is still suppressed that you have not looked at? What emotions, what trauma, what have you endured that still is sitting there and impacting your adult self? Let's get into it, because I did say I'm going to show you how. So I hope that you're all ears and you've got a pen and paper, and that I don't confuse you. And if there is something in this video that you don't quite understand, my email is in the description. So if you want to email me and ask me to clarify, I am more than happy to clarify for you. So please don't hesitate, because sometimes when I'm explaining, I go, oh, is that confusing? So let's get into it. I don't want to hold you up anymore. Right. How to heal your inner child. How do you work on your inner child successfully so that you finally heal? Most people fail in this area is when working with your inner child. You are not allowing your younger self to answer the questions. What? What did I just say? You must allow your younger self to speak. You've got to tap in to your younger self. Now, you might ask, how do I do that? I'm going to really get into that a little bit further. I want to keep going with the message. You must allow your younger self to tell their childhood experience through their eyes. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So it's about allowing your younger self to answer the questions in therapy, not your adult self. Far too many people, when working on their inner child with a therapist, it is their adult self sharing their childhood experience through their adult eyes. In other words, through their adult perspective. Yeah? If I got $1 for how many people that I have seen throughout the years say, oh yeah, I had a really good childhood. And then when I delve a little deeper and I get them to get their younger self to stand in front of them and I get them to ask their younger self, it's amazing how the answer changes. And some people really struggle to do this. And so there is a particular technique I use, and I will disclose that further in. Unfortunately, far too many therapists are not even aware that that's what's going on. They're not aware, and they may not even know the way that I work, about that it's the adult self answering the questions about their younger self. Now, is that truth? You want to know why I'm questioning this? Here goes. What happens is the adults can gain the feeling of guilt. They can feel bad that they may be speaking about their parents, that I may be judging their childhood, that, and most common is that adults will compare other people's stories to themselves, and they look at it and they go, oh yeah, but what I went through is no big deal, so I had a good childhood. Our adult self-thoughts come in the way and they take us out. I hope this makes sense to you. We feel bad. No, we had good parents. When I'm asking you about your childhood, I'm not asking about your parents. I don't care about how your parents were. It's not about them. It's all about how you felt as that 8-year-old self or that 10-year-old. How are you feeling when you were 8? That's where I want to tap into. And that is how you heal your younger self, by allowing your younger self to speak, not your adult self to speak. Therefore, the inner child, because what happens when you do that? And you go, no, I had a pretty good childhood. Your inner child does not get to share because your adult self feels bad. So do you know what happens? Your younger self, unfortunately, does not get a look in to being able to share how they felt growing up. So yet again, unfortunately, your hurt, sad, lonely, rejected, abandoned younger self waits sitting deep inside to be heard, validated, acknowledged, and finally seen. So all of the things that you've suppressed stay there from your younger self. Now, for some of you that are very analytical beings, you're going to struggle with this concept and go, well, how do I do? So for those of you who are parents, a way that I get parents to really be able to tap into their younger self is I said, okay, so now let's look at your child. If your child experienced what you experienced, you as a parent, would you just go, oh no, it's no big deal, and that, yeah, it's all good, and dismiss it? Would you do that? And when I do that, most of the parents go, no way. And I go, yet you're okay to do that for self. Are you now understanding? For you to heal your younger self, it may even take for you to pretend or visualize your younger self standing in front of you. So there's you, there's me here, and there's my younger self there. And now my adult self asks the question to my younger self. You might think this sounds crazy. And I respect that. But I'm going to say to you, if you have the ability to do this, oh my gosh. You're going to stop your adult self from saying, oh yeah, I had a good childhood. I'm not saying you had a bad childhood. What I am saying is, what if you are a child that you come from a pretty, I'll just say average family, right? Average income earners and all the rest of it. And nothing in your mind was traumatic. What if I asked you if you felt your younger self, if I had your younger self standing in front of me and I asked him or her the question, did you feel that mummy and daddy worked too much? Did you feel that mummy and daddy had time for you? How would they answer me? Go back. Because this is not about your parents. It's you acknowledging that that's how you felt. And if you didn't feel like your parents had enough time for you, then how does it make you feel as an adult that you're not worthy? You're not valued enough? You're not important enough for them to make time for you? This is not about them. This is not judging them. They did the best they knew how. And until you stop excusing and focusing on other people, your younger self keeps getting dismissed. Your younger self keeps pushing to the side. Doesn't matter. Nah, it doesn't matter about what you endured or how you felt. There's other people that had worse. If you want to keep dismissing that, your inner child is never going to get healed. Your inner child is waiting for you to finally freaking hear them. And stop judging and comparing them to other people. Your younger self just wants to feel heard. But instead, you keep dismissing how they feel. Because it's no big deal compared to someone else's story. Oh my gosh. If they were your children, you would give a shit. You would absolutely listen to them and go, oh my gosh, that's terrible that you feel that way. I'm sorry that I worked that many hours. I didn't mean to make you feel like I didn't have time for you. Wouldn't you not say that to your kids? But yeah, for you, it's okay. You can hear my passion because I hope you get this. I am sick to death. Here's my frustration. So many people talking about inner child, and I go, you're missing the point. You're answering your childhood from your adult self. How are you ever going to allow your younger self to heal? It makes common sense. So what from your younger self still does not feel heard or validated? What have you dismissed in your childhood that as an adult you think is no big deal? But yet your younger self is screaming and going, are you serious? You're not even willing to hear me. You're not even willing to see me. You're not even willing to acknowledge or validate me. You dismiss me and say, oh, I had a good childhood. I hope, I'm going on and on a little bit about this, but this is something that came through and I was like, oh my gosh, finally I've worded it in a way that makes logical sense for me. You need to visualize your younger self in front of you. And if you're being asked by a therapist or anyone how your childhood was, allow them to answer, not your adult self. Tap back into, how did you feel growing up? If you were bullied, how did it make you feel? If you come from a poor family and you had how did it make you feel? If your folks were always at work, how did that make you feel? If you feel they didn't have time to watch you play sport, how did it make you feel? And this is not about blaming your folks. They did the best they knew how. It's not about them. This is about your younger self and going, I hear you. I finally hear how you feel. I'm so sorry that you felt like that. And now I've acknowledged it. And you know, once your adult self acknowledges what your younger self went through or felt, it's amazing how sometimes you just automatically shift. It's like, oh my gosh, I just needed to acknowledge that. I needed to just recognize that. Some of my clients go, I don't need to do anything. I feel great just knowing that that's what happened in my childhood. And I'm like, amazing, isn't it? It doesn't have to be a big grandeur thing. But I hope this message sinks in. And I hope I get lots of emails about this message. And I hope that you go, oh my gosh. I've been seeing a therapist and they didn't pick me up, because I know exactly when an adult is answering my questions from their adult self. It's because they're coming from here. They're thinking about, oh yeah, I think I had a good childhood. Uh, uh, my response is, I don't care what you think. What do you feel? Now that is where I want to tap into the emotions. So if you're saying, I think, that is your head giving you the answers. That's not emotion. That's what you think, your thoughts. That's your thoughts. And we know what thoughts like to do. They like to self-sabotage. Yeah? Because imagine if you healed all that stuff. Ooh, who would you become? How would your life look if you healed and you stopped self-sabotaging? Have you ever taken a moment to ask yourself that question? Maybe it's time you did. Okay, let's keep moving. Daily guidance, what does the page have for us today? Let it come to you. Absolutely. Let your younger self come to you and hear them. Finally hear them. What they have to share with you about their childhood growing up. Okay, before I read this, if you'd like to close your eyes, take a deep breath with me. I need to release some of that energy. Let it come to you. Instead of struggling to attain your desires, relax and let everything come to you. You don't have to strain to find what you're looking for. Simply hold a clear vision that is already yours. Keep faith that it will come to you easily and effortlessly and follow any guidance you receive. Today, let go of the approaches to fulfilling your needs. Be like the smart angler who uses the proper bait, in this case, your crystal clear thoughts. Cast a line in the lake corresponding to the act of giving desires to spirit and patiently wait to be rewarded. Determine what it is you want and realize that as long as you're searching for that item, you're sending a signal that you don't have it. So thank the universe and feel grateful for the fact that you've already received your wish. The process will yield the manifestation of your desire, often in a way that exceeds your expectations. Write a detailed description of what you want today and sign it with a thank you. Fill your heart with feelings of gratitude and enjoy the quick response that you receive from the universe. Thought for today. I let things come to me. I cast my desires before me, allowing them to return to me in material form. I feel gratitude before and after my wishes come true. For those of you, there are some of you that really do want certain things in life and you feel you've been struggling a long time to get it. And just maybe there are parts of your inner child that need to be healed. And so allow your inner child to come to you and shed some light on why you feel the way you do. Rather than dismiss him or her, allow them to share how they feel. Allow the process of healing, and then you'll be surprised at what comes to you. And I'm also getting that this is a time for deep contemplation, reflection, really going inward and seeing what comes to you when you do. If it's daunting, absolutely it can be scary. But all those things that you've suppressed need to come to you to your conscious awareness again in order to heal from them. And for a lot of you, it's your inner child, it's your younger self, yeah? That has a lot that needs to come to you. It needs to come to your conscious awareness for you to acknowledge, validate, and heal from it. And then you'll be surprised at what else will actually come to you. So maybe from today moving forward, say, I am healed. My younger self does feel acknowledged and heard. And over time, all of that healing process will come to you and you can finally release it. That, for me, is worth it. All right, so what does the card have for us today? Expectancy. How many of you have an expectancy that you should just be okay? How many of you are setting expectations on yourself that are unfair and untrue? When we expect things, we often get let down. And I say in a relationship, to expect is so disrespectful. We have no right to expect anything of anyone. And for some of you, you're setting massive expectations on self. They're unfair, they're untrue. And just maybe these expectancies are part of your inner child. Oh, okay. Right. What's just come up? For some of you with your younger self, you felt that there was certain expectations that you had to live up to in order to feel loved. Oh, yes. That's coming through thick and fast. What from your younger self, your inner child, still feels that there's set an expectation with your parents today? If I'm not this, they're not going to love me. If I'm not successful, they're not going to love me. If I'm not this, that, whatever it else. If I don't get married, if I don't have babies, if I don't buy a house, if I don't have a good job. What self-imposed expectations are stemming from your inner child that you're still waiting for your parents to love and accept you for you? This is not about your folks. This is about you, your inner child. As you know, you could be the middle child syndrome. You could be the baby syndrome. You never felt accepted and loved from your parents unconditionally. You felt there was a set of expectations on you, that you had to be a certain way in order to be loved. Find it. What is it? What is that self-expectation that still holds you back today? You're still waiting for your parents to say, I'm proud of you. What if I said that may never come? And it is up to you to be proud of you. To stop expecting other people to lift you up. Lift yourself. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of all of what you've achieved. Do you celebrate you? Have you celebrated you? Or are you too busy looking at what you haven't achieved yet? So you're still doing this. If you do not love yourself unconditionally, what makes you think anyone else should? You're setting an expectation on someone to love you unconditionally, yet you don't love yourself. Isn't that hypocritical? What expectations are you setting on others towards you that you're not even doing for yourself? Oh, that's coming through thick and fast. Yeah? Totally going on a different tangent. It's time to look within. You may be expecting certain things to happen in your life and they're not happening because you haven't fully healed all what you need to in order to get what you want. And if you're wanting unconditional love from your folks or your wife or your husband or your children, are you giving that to you? Are you unconditionally loving you? Or maybe you're setting expectations on you in order to like who you are. And this all stems from our inner child. So, I shall read what the card has to say. Before I do, if you want to close your eyes once again with me, take a deep breath. Just so you can absorb all the words from this message. Expectations. Where are we? Expectancy, I should say. Okay. Something you've been hoping for may not come about as you had expected. Observe the image on the card without trying to understand it. Simply allow its energy, colors, and vibration to fill you. Know you are being filled with the infinite power of love. Your fixed expectations may be blocking you and delay the arrival of something far more beautiful. Excuse me. Surrender and trust are required. Something far beyond your expectations will manifest soon. And so really, if there are things you want in life, what I'm saying is really make number one wanting to heal your inner child first and watch how other things will manifest after you heal. After you accept you and love you for you. Yeah? Watch the shift. So I hope today has given you how to heal your inner child. And if it's still not clear, send me an email. My email address is in the descriptions box. And I'm more than happy to elaborate and further delve into this. And maybe I'll do a live or I do offer a free 15-minute consult call that you may want to, take up that offer, and maybe that'll just set you on your way to giving you a leap forward into healing your inner child. I hope that you've gained something little from today, and know that you are your most valuable asset, so invest in you. You matter. You matter. I don't know how many more times that I can say this. I want to thank you for spending your time with me, as I respect your time is valuable, so thank you. If you enjoyed today's video, I would be so grateful if you would like the video, subscribe to my channel, and also click on the notifications bell so you'll be notified when I upload tomorrow's cat's message of the day. So for today, take care of you.